Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and today we got something, I guess it's going to be a little bit of a shorter review than usual, and something a little different. What we have here are some various B units from some United States MCIs, otherwise known as Meal Combat Individuals. All of these happen to have a date on them of 880, aside from the peanut butter, but it came from the same lot, so I'm going to assume it's from the same date range. So that would mean these were made in August of 1980, so it's almost nearing 38 years old. I've only ever reviewed one B-Unit can before, and that was in a previous review I did of a various amount of, I guess what I called vintage US ration snacks. That one wasn't particularly good. It came with a coconut disc in it, and the coconut obviously had gone rancid a long time ago and ruined everything inside the can. But the peanut butter was still good in that one. So what we're going to do is just, open up these cans, see what's good in them. Hopefully we end up with not a coconut disc this time. So we've got two B3 units and a B1 unit, so the content should be slightly different. So we're going to hope that this one works out okay. I don't own a P38 can opener, but I do happen to have the trusty Fred from our Australian CR1M. So we'll use the Fred to open up these cans, and just a little MCI spoon to sort of stir up the peanut butter and do some spreading and whatnot. There's a good chance the peanut butter is probably separated. There'll be probably a lot of oil on top, so we'll need to get sort of mixed back together again. Just as an aside to, I guess, add some historical context, this is nearing pretty well near the end of the run of MCIs, so Meal Combat Individuals. They've been around since 1958, around that area, and of course served well during the Vietnam War and things like that, but eventually the United States military realized that it needed a more lightweight, shelf-stable kind of ration, and then they began to develop the MRE, which we had today, the meal ready to eat. So these are some of the last. Obviously, you're going to still see MCI canned rations made even in the earlier parts of the 80s. Some we've seen with 81 or 82 marked on it, but for the most part, 1980 was when they really stopped large-scale production of these rations. And you can see that these cans are in fantastic condition, and they should be okay. So what we're going to do, I guess we'll open up our peanut butter first, and we're going to speed through the opening part. No one needs to see me struggle for 5 minutes to try to open 4 cans. So we'll just start with the peanut butter, and then we'll speed through the rest of them. So we got that one opened. Pop the lid back. And as you can see, there is quite a film of oil there on top. Stir this up a little bit better. But this peanut butter usually works out pretty well. I just realized I have this dirty now, so I'm going to have to go clean this off before we start with the other cans. All right, and let's get into these B units now. So we got a B1, like I said, 2 B3s. So it'll be interesting to see, I guess, what items we actually have inside. But for the sake of time, I'm going to just open these off camera and then put them back on when they're all done. Now that Fred was actually a little problematic getting those cans open. The last review I did with MCI B-Units, it sort of worked really easily. So I don't know if I just wasn't getting the right rhythm or what, or the blades become dull or something like that, but it shouldn't be dull. But anyway, it took an awful lot longer to open those cans than I had anticipated. But what we have here in our B1 unit, we've got a Vanilla Fudge Disk, and these, from what I hear and what I see, these rarely ever last. So there's a good chance that's not going to be anywhere near edible. And then we've also got our crackers. We've got 4 crackers come with that. Look like they're in pretty good shape. And then inside of our B3 units, we've also got candy chocolate disc with toffee. There should be 2 of those. Yep, so we got 2 of those. They smell pretty good. Be interesting to see how they all sort of work out. And once again, 4 crackers, and these look really good as well. So let's try to actually make sure these are separated so we know which ones they came from. And then lastly, we've got our second B3 unit. These come with discs as well, but they're in backwards. And these ones are also candy chocolate with toffee. So we've got 4 candy chocolate discs with toffee, and we've got 12 crackers altogether. And I think out of the bunch, these ones here probably look the nicest. They all look pretty good, but these ones look absolutely perfect. So, a little bit of mess of cracker dust and whatnot. But what we're going to do first is try 1 cracker from each set. So this is from the first B3 unit. Let's try it on its own. That's absolutely perfect. Nice and salty. A little bit more robust flavor than what, say, a saltine would have. But it's in the same vein, I guess. Let's try the other B3 unit cracker, the ones that I said looked a lot better. Once again, these are perfect. Nice and airy and crispy. And a little bit of salt in those. Even a little bit buttery, actually. They got a nice flavor. And these ones come with the vanilla fudge in the B1 unit. If this vanilla fudge has gone rancid, there is a slight chance that it may have compromised these as well. So let's see. Yeah, these are not quite as crisp as the other two, but the flavor is still just as good. There's no sort of hint of rancidity coming off of the vanilla fudge. At least not that I can tell that it's sort of permeated these crackers. So at least the crackers are okay in these, so that's a good sign. What we're going to do, let's try some things that hopefully should be okay. So let's try one of our candy chocolate discs with toffee. Now there's a good chance that these are at least bloomed, but we'll find out. And that's actually not that bad, at least from the back. We'll see what the other side looks like. That's a bit more bloomed. Snaps really well. The inside actually looks really nice. So yeah, let's give one of these a try. Got our chocolate disc with toffee from August of 1980. Probably shouldn't have taken so much of a big bite to start with. I mean, there are sort of nut products in this. It does have that slight tinge in the background that you would normally find in some sort of old ration item that's just starting to go bad. So it tastes really, really good. It's a nice flavored chocolate. The toffee pieces inside have a nice crunch to them, nice snap. You know, sort of like a Score Heath kind of thing. And it's not that bad. There's just the slightest aftertaste that sort of sneaks up on you when it's all done. But let's just see if all of these are like that. This one appears to be bloomed a little bit more than the first one. Remember, these came from the same package. But now the top looks a bit better. So let's snap this one apart. The cross-section looks pretty much the same. Let's give this one a try. Oddly enough, that one's a bit better than the first one was. So this one I would call perfectly edible. And this one here, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd call that one probably like an 8, I guess. So that's not too bad. So they came from one can. Let's try out the ones from one of the other cans. One of the other B3 units. Now this one looks not too bad. So it's fairly consistent. Cross-section looks nice, just like all the other ones. Let's give this one a try. This one's got a whole different flavor profile altogether again. It tastes more like modern milk chocolate, I guess is the way to put it, than these two. This one here has like a really nice, rich milk chocolate flavor, which is kind of surprising. Had a slight initial weird kind of taste, but it actually went away. So it wasn't sort of a background aftertaste. It was sort of just sort of initial kind of thing. Now, I don't know if it's because I hadn't sort of cleansed my palate from these ones yet, but this one is even better. Set that back up again. And just for the sake of doing all of them, we'll open this one and see what it's like. Now this one looks fairly bloomed. This side's not too bad. Once again, they all snap really well. They all got a nice cross section. So let's try our last chocolate disc. And just to make everything completely random, that one had an initial sort of slight rancidity and also an aftertaste rancidity. So that one seemed fairly rancid. Well, not fairly rancid, but had a tinge of rancidity all the way through. So when it comes to all of these chocolate discs, we've got basically two perfect ones. One that's not bad, and then this last one that we have right here, not particularly great. So, you know, they all run the gambit basically. We don't really have a whole lot, but we got to try this vanilla fudge. There's probably a good chance this isn't good anymore, but we'll give it a try anyway. Now, looks can be deceiving for these things because this looks absolutely perfect on the outside. This doesn't want to break apart at all. And yeah, that's not supposed to have that color inside. And that smells incredibly rancid. Let's just try one little tiny nibble and see how it's fared. Oh, it didn't seem that bad at first. And then it slowly catches up to you. And then you realize that, yeah, this is not good at all. So yeah, these fudge discs and the coconut discs, all those things that came in the B1 units, these usually don't hold up very well. And this is, once again, another great example of that. All we got left to do now, guys, is just to try our peanut butter. And let's try it out on what I would deem to be the best of the crackers. Let's just get a little dip in there. Just a slight taste, just to try it first. And that is utterly perfect peanut butter. Let's try to get a little bit more than that. It doesn't really want to come out very easily. Also, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so that doesn't help. So yeah, let's just try a little bit more. That is perfect peanut butter. Tastes just like brand new, out of the store peanut butter. I said that the last time I reviewed B-Unit peanut butter, or MCI peanut butter. The last one I had was from 1968, and that one tasted perfect. This one's from 1980, same exact thing. I mean, it's got oil separation, obviously, but if you go and buy natural peanut butter at a store, it'll have that anyway. That's just the way peanut butter goes. So, this has been an assortment of B-Units from some United States MCIs from August of 1980. The Vanilla Fudge bar was about as good as I assumed it would be. All the crackers were absolutely perfect. I'll certainly finish those off, and the peanut butter as well. And the chocolate discs that we have here were a mix between being awesome and being, oh, you know, slightly rancid. So that's not bad considering that these are coming from, you know, canned rations from 38 years ago, or pretty much 38 years ago. So guys, this has been a short little review. Just had some, you know, extra free time here. It's summertime, obviously, and decided to try to get another review done as quickly as I could. May have to take a little bit of a break for a little bit. Getting married soon in a couple weeks' time. But hopefully come back when I do get a chance and try out something from the collection that's been sitting around for a while. Maybe something that's either a little bit rare or something that's a little bit vintage or something that's, you know, entirely modern. So once again, thanks a lot for stopping by. Have a good one.